grew up in church. I don't have any really super exciting story to tell you. I wasn't a gang leader or a drug dealer or anything like that. I just don't have that, right? Sometimes I tell people that I was a drug baby, and what that meant is that from the time I was born, my parents drugged me to church every time the doors open. That's about as crazy as I can give you on that. But here's the thing. I got saved when I was 11 years old, almost 12. And growing up in church, I'm going to tell you that I had heard hundreds of sermons, right? Mainly from these really old guys, right? And they all sounded the same to me. It really hasn't resonated, with me. And, church to me was just, it was boring. I mean, that's like the service. I could still give you the order of service, exactly what we were going to do, right? This is a Southern Baptist church for any of you that went there. They kind of do things sort of the same way all the time. I mean, really, but the only variance in the service would be at the end for the invitation hymn, you were either going to do Just As I Am or what we sang this morning, I Have Decided to Follow Jesus. And that was about the only thing to look forward to, that there would be some variance in. I had a best friend growing up. His name was Bert Kelso. He was my closest neighbor, and we did everything together, right? We grew up out in the country. We went, BB gun shooting and rode bikes and played football and baseball and fished and just all sorts of stuff. And so anyway, and Bert went to my church. And one day, for one of those two songs I just mentioned, Bert walks down the aisle. And he accepts Christ and wants to get baptized. And I was kind of like, well, what's this all about? Right? After Bert got saved, I have to tell you that he was different. He was 11. He was my age. Yeah. We were in the 5th grade together when this happened. And, I just thought something was alive. Something was definitely different about Bert. There's no question about it. And, Bert started witnessing to kids at school. And, that's a dangerous thing to do for a 5th grader, man. And I was his best friend. So I said, Bert, dude, I said, you keep this up, you're going to definitely get kicked out of the cool club, right? I mean, I thought I was looking out for him. Do you know what he said to me? He said, I don't care. And by the way, Tim, have you accepted Christ? Well, Burr, you know me. I grew up in church, man. I don't get into a lot of trouble. He goes, I'm your best friend, dude. I've seen you sin. Don't tell me about that. He said, you need to make a decision for Christ. And you know what? It just started changing things for me. I didn't do anything right away, but God used that. I started to hear the knock on the door of my heart from Christ, and it was about 2 months later, and I still remember it. Second stanza of Just As I Am, I walked in and gave my life to Christ. It was the best decision that I ever made in my life. And you know what? When you're 11 years old, at least at this church, the whole idea of evangelism, they would tell you is, hey, if you have a friend that you think doesn't know Jesus yet, here's what you do. Don't necessarily talk to them, but bring them to church so that they can hear sort of the professionals explain the gospel, right? Because they didn't say this, but what I really got out of that was we really can't trust an unqualified 11-year-old with the eternal destiny of someone. That's what I got out of it. Well, let me tell you something. If it hadn't been for an unqualified 11-year-old named Bert Kelso, I may not be saved right now. I may not even be here. I'm not qualified, don't buy it. It's garbage. If you're a believer, if you can talk, you can tell your story, you can do this, you're qualified.